Is abortion a violation of the non-aggression principle, or simply a matter of self-ownership and private property rights? What position should a consistent libertarian take regarding abortion? Stay tuned to hear my 2 cents on this often heated debate amongst libertarians. Hello everyone, this is my 2 cents. The ethics of abortion has been one of the most heavily debated topics around the world for quite some time now, and I have no doubt that this video will elicit some strong reactions from many of you. However, I think it's too important of a topic not to address, especially since there are such strong disagreements about the issue among fellow libertarians and anarcho-capitalists. This will be the first in a 4-part video series in which we will answer the following questions. 1. What is the fundamental issue in the abortion debate? 2. Is a fetus a living human being? 3. Do unborn humans possess the right to life, liberty, and property? And 4. Is an unborn human being aggressing against its mother's rights? Before we continue, let me take a moment for a patron shout-out.
My name is Mag. I have a small channel making different political stuff, either money, abortion, gun control. When I'm short on time, I will either do a music video with one of my friends or I will make memes. Everything you see on my channel is either I'm adding onto a subject or it's a subject that no one's really talking about. As someone who has been a viewer on YouTube for years, I can understand from what a consumer wants and I want to fill in that need, and hopefully I'll be able to give that to you. I hope to see you guys later. Without further ado, bye!
Please help out Mag by subscribing to her channel, and if you'd like a shout out, head over to my Patreon page. Now, getting back to the issue of abortion. Allow me to briefly review the laws of logic that underlie all ethical discussions and the libertarian position regarding the right to life and the initiation of force. The most fundamental law in all of logic is the law of non-contradiction. Opposite ideas cannot be both true and false at the same time and in the same sense, or simply, either A or not A. If proposition A is true, then proposition not A must be false, and vice versa. I say that this is the most fundamental law in all of logic because without it, it is impossible to make any truth claims about anything. Given the law of non-contradiction, we know that whenever we set out to explain reality as it is, any true explanation of reality must be consistent. That is, it must not contain any contradictions. If you were to accept a contradiction, you would be denying the law of non-contradiction. But if you do that, you no longer have the means to assert that anything is true or false, in which case, why are we having a discussion at all? I say all this to point out that the moment a person enters into a debate about whether something is true or false, ethical or unethical, justified or unjustified, they have implicitly accepted the law of non-contradiction and the principle of consistency. With these two things in place, we know that any system of ethics must be both logically and practically consistent. You can't, for example, assert that John has the right to initiate force against Mark, but Mark does not have the right to initiate force against John. Unless you could demonstrate that there is a fundamental difference between John and Mark, grounded in nature itself and not in the subjective whims of people, this would be the fallacy of special pleading, where you arbitrarily exempt yourself or someone else from the rules that you apply to everyone else. When all is said and done, the libertarian appropriately recognizes that every person has the right to self-ownership. That is, life, liberty, and property, as John Locke put it, and that the initiation of force cannot be consistently justified. This is referred to as the non-aggression principle. With this as our foundation, we now turn to the issue of abortion. Regardless of what method of abortion is used, there is little question that abortion is an initiation of force against a living being. After all, dead things don't grow, so to assert that a fetus is not alive is ludicrous. It is here that it is important to clarify where the disagreement is between pro-life and pro-choice libertarians. Pro-life libertarians believe that an unborn human is a living and whole human being, and therefore has the right to life. Therefore, abortion is a violation of the non-aggression principle. Pro-choice libertarians can defend their position in one of 3 different ways. They could 1. Assert that an unborn child is not a living and whole human being and therefore has no right to life. 2. assert that there is a fundamental difference between born human beings and unborn human beings, grounded in the nature of reality itself, such that denying the unborn the right to life would not be special pleading. And 3, assert that the unborn child is in some sense committing an aggression against its mother's rights, and therefore abortion is a just act of self-defense. I take all the time to lay this out because I think there is too much unhelpful rhetoric that always rears its ugly head every time rational people try to have discussions about abortion. The pro-life side instantly asserts that the pro-choice side condones murder, while the pro-choice side asserts that the pro-life side wants to suppress a woman's right to self-ownership. Neither of these claims are true, since the disagreement is with regards to the status of the unborn. If it could be demonstrated conclusively that unborn children are not living, whole human beings, and therefore have no right to life, a consistent libertarian would become pro-choice, and vice versa, were the opposite to be demonstrated. So, in summary, the goal of this video is to clearly define where the disagreement among libertarians is. The pro-life libertarian believes that abortion is a violation of the non-aggression principle and therefore cannot be justified. The pro-choice libertarian believes that it is not a violation of the non-aggression principle, either in virtue of the fetus not being a living and whole human being, bearing a fundamentally different nature than a born human being, or being an aggressor against its mother's rights. Before I end, let me put my cards on the table and let you know that I firmly believe that an unborn child is a living and whole human being, bearing the same nature as a born human being, and that abortion is unquestionably a violation of the non-aggression principle. I further hold that any effort to argue that the unborn is aggressing against its mother's rights will lead to a number of clear absurdities, and therefore that position must be rejected on the basis of the consistency principle. I've yet to give an argument for that, of course, but that is what I will do in the 3 following videos. If you disagree with me at any point along the way, feel free to leave a comment below or make your own response video. Once the following 3 videos are done, I will make one response video in which I address what I believe to be the best counter-arguments that were left in the comments section and/or in response videos. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and I hope you found this video helpful, even if you disagree. Remember, the purpose of this video was only to frame the discussion, not to defend my position. That will be done in the following 3 videos. And that is my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. Thanks everyone for watching. If you liked this video, please hit like and subscribe. You can also hit the bell to ensure you're notified every time I upload a new video. This video was made possible by my patrons. If anyone else would like to donate and help ensure that I have the time and resources to keep putting out content, for just $1 a month on Patreon or Maker Support, you'll have your name listed in the end credits of every video and the link to one of your social media platforms listed in the description. You can also support the channel by purchasing my 2 cents merchandise on Teespring. You can also follow me on Twitter, Minds.com, BitChute, WordPress, Gab, and iTunes. Uploads are every Thursday and Saturday, so stay tuned for more videos.